Carey Smolensky with some very important tips for anyone who's going to be speaking on a stage. Whether a stage has a set backdrop that is a hard set, meaning that it is constructed to create a certain theme, or maybe a soft set, which is draping and different types of elements. Either way, when you're on stage, you need to command the microphone. As a professional speaker, you need to know how to use a microphone, and at the same time, you need to know the different options available. So I'm going to start right now. We're using Shure products today, and I'm using a handheld microphone. Whenever you're speaking in a handheld microphone, this is exactly how you should be holding the microphone. Just as if you are eating an ice cream cone, but never holding it down like this. Now, as I move my microphone, watch how the sound changes. If I'm talking like this, you can still hear me, but it's going to be more tinny. It's also not going to be a full sound, and your audio technician is not going to be able to boost your volume because there's a fear of feedback, which is the noise coming from the speakers and the room noise coming back into the microphone. So the rule of thumb is always hold the microphone in this direction, and for a handheld microphone, if you're going to be speaking extremely loudly, if you're going to create enthusiasm, if you're going to do things like, make some noise, everybody right now, put those hands in the air. If you're going to do something like that, you should be using a handheld microphone. As we go into the other options of microphones, you'll see why those are not appropriate for that type of modulation. The other thing is, when you're getting a microphone, you also have to trust your audio technician. And from the standpoint of an audio technician, normally your microphone will be muted until you reach the stage. So if you're off stage and you're tapping the top of the microphone like this, which you should never do, you never want the audience to hear that. So although you as a speaker are testing your microphone, there has to be a certain level of trust with the audio technician to trust that when you get on the stage, your microphone will be turned on and you're ready to go. So as far as a handheld microphone, as you're turning your head, your hand should be moving. So your microphone should always be directly in front of your mouth and turning with it. If you keep your hand steady and you turn your mouth and keep talking, this is what it's going to sound like. You're going to lose the microphone sound, and it's not going to be full. It's going to be coming in and out. Also, as you hold the microphone lower, which you should not do, you're also going to lose the sound and hear less and less. So for the people that are speaking like this, now it's a challenge for the audio engineer to raise the volume. So again, this is the ideal space for a handheld microphone. The next type of microphone we're going to talk about is a lavalier microphone. And again, it's very important to know the usage for the microphone before deciding what microphone you're going to use. The advantage of a lavalier microphone is that you are hands-free. The transmitter is attached to your belt, whether it's on the side, whether it's in back. Your audio technician will wire you up. The wire will either go under your shirt, behind your jacket, so that you don't see it. Now ladies, you have a little bit of a different situation. If you're wearing a low-cut front top, if you don't have a belt, the question is, where do we attach things? So if you do not have a belt, one option is to attach the transmitter to the back, maybe by the back of the bra, and have the cord come forward. Now, the other option is, where do we attach the microphone? If you are wearing a low-cut front top, then it has to be on a lapel or on the side. Now, there's advantages and disadvantages to this microphone. The advantages are your hands free, but if you don't use this microphone properly and the microphone is on your left side and you turn and face the crowd on your right, this is what it's going to sound like, because I'm turning away from the microphone. And then as I turn towards the microphone or even go closer to the microphone, your volume is going to fluctuate. The other thing is, if you're at a podium and you're looking down towards your notes, you're going to hear it louder when you're looking down than when you are looking straight ahead. So again, as long as you use the microphone in the proper way it's intended, you shouldn't have a problem like that. Also, your audio technician will keep your mic muted until you reach the stage. That way, you're going to be walking in front of speakers possibly, there's going to be background noise, you'll be talking to people, there's clapping. So you need to trust your audio technician to be able to turn the microphone on as soon as you reach the stage. Also, it's important to note that when you reach the stage and your microphone is on, if you were not having the benefit of a rehearsal in advance, no one knows what you're going to sound like. So the volume is going to be much lower in the beginning. So as you start talking, your audio technician may need 15 seconds, 30 seconds, or even more to properly calibrate the way you're going to sound. And again, give that person the time, just keep going on with your program, and don't be distracted. As a professional speaker, you are in command of the stage. So it's important that you are in command of the tools of your trade, which are the microphones. So as long as you know which microphone you'd like to use, the Lavalier Microphone may or may not be your best option. And another option for a microphone is your headset microphone. And this is a Countryman E6. The great thing about this microphone is you are completely hands-free, and no matter where you turn your head, the microphone is in appropriate positioning for optimum sound quality. Now again, the belt pack, which is your transmitter, would be attached to a belt, would be placed inside your jacket, which can be placed anywhere that the audio technician seems fit based on what you're wearing. Again, the advantage of being hands-free and not worrying about where it is only is hindered by the fact of your comfort level. A lot of times people don't want things around their ear, and if that's something that's uncomfortable for you, that may be a consideration as well. A qualified audio technician will normally know how to appropriately tape the cord to the back of your neck, to the back of your clothing, so that when you're making a turn like this, you're not pulling on the cord and it's comfortable. So the only other thing to know is whether you are using this type of a microphone or you're using a lavalier microphone and you are leaving the room for any reason, whether it's to take a bio break or whether it's to speak to someone else and you want to mute your own microphone, you need to make sure that you know how to mute it properly and that when you come back in, you are putting it back on appropriately. The easiest way to solve that problem is when you come back in the room, go back to the tech table and have them just double check. Make sure you might have hugged somebody, you might have brushed up against somebody, and all of a sudden the wires are a little bit moved. Doesn't hurt to make a check one more time before you go on stage. And those are your microphone options. A couple other things I'd like to touch on that every professional speaker should know, whether it's your first time or whether you've done this and you're a veteran. Whatever type of accessories are given to you, whether it's a confidence monitor, which is normally placed in front of the stage, and it would be placed where you can look down and see what is on the screen, so you don't have to turn around and actually look at the screens. The usage of that is very important because if you are providing your own PowerPoint or your keynote, you need to explain what you want on that confidence monitor. So that's one thing that's important. Another thing that's important is if you're using a PowerPoint remote, and PerfectQ is industry standard, there's a number of varieties. The one I'm holding right now has a green button to move forward and a red button to move backwards. Some models also have a blackout button, and they also have a laser pointer. So if you are using this and you push the wrong button, again, as long as you know how to use it, that shouldn't be a problem. So moving forward and backwards, using the confidence monitor, which shows you exactly what is on the screen, will be able to keep you in a comfort zone where there's no issues. Again, hands-free is a great thing. If you're going to project, again, know what kind of a microphone you want to use, know why, and the last thing I'd like to touch on is a speaker timer. Sometimes there might be a speaker timer in the back of the room. It might be on the floor in front of you. It might be a little timer that's on the podium. Whatever it is, it's a countdown timer that normally will be set from the time you get on stage. Now, if you're given 30 minutes, speak to the client, the person that you are speaking for, and does that 30 minutes start from your introduction, where the MC starts speaking about you, or does it start from when you actually hit the stage? And as it counts down, it may flash the last 2 minutes, 1 minute, depending on how it's set, but that's something you should be aware of, and that way you can regulate your presentation appropriately to respect everyone's time and be on schedule. I hope these are all helpful tips. Again, I'm Carey Smolensky. It's been an honor and a privilege to share the information with you and wishing you the best on your next time you're on stage.